Hello, motherfucker.
Thanks for joining. We'll be discussing fitness, fashion, and ways to focus on greatness. Be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. Okay, as we know, the House of Representatives has passed the HEROES Act, which is up to the Senate to vote on now. And why it's so important for you to actually vote, not just on the president, but to get to know your congressman, senator, and every politician that represents you and your family. Okay, Trump has already said that he will approve a second round of stimulus checks, but will the Senate approve the HEROES Act? In my opinion, no. I don't think initially, but there will be some negotiations made, and more than likely it's going to return back to the House to be voted on again. I do think a second stimulus check is going to be approved, but not the HEROES Act with all the other provisions that it entails. It was about 1,800 pages. I went through some of the pages. I listened to a lot of commentary regarding the HEROES Act, and I'm coming up with my own conclusions that I think are important to myself and anyone that may be listening to my channel. Now, again, I don't think the Senate is going to pass initially, but the most important thing the Republicans want to make certain happens is that there is a liability protection clause for businesses from employees as well as customers in case they do get the coronavirus, that they cannot turn around and sue any companies. Now, this is for any company that has employees and that may have customers. Excuse me. Families will benefit the very most from this HEROES Act. Number one, there will be a paid family leave act. This is for any business with one or more employees. They would have to pay employees that would be caring for themselves or any other family member with the coronavirus for up to 2 weeks job protected pay, up to $511 per day, and an additional 12 weeks for up to 2/3 of the pay rate, which includes any employee affected by schools or daycares closing, up to $200 per day. So that's 2 weeks with full pay, your regular pay, up to $511 per day, and an additional 12 weeks of pay for 2/3 of your pay rate if you are caring for yourself or another family member that has contracted the coronavirus, or your child care has been affected by any schools or daycares closing. Number two, there will be a increase in the child tax credit. It will be increased to $3,000 per child for this tax year, up to $3,000 per child for this tax year, and the age cap increases to under 18. So prior to this, it was under 17. Now you can be your child can be 17 and you still receive the tax credit. Also, any child that will be under the age of 6 by December 31st will receive a tax credit of $3,600. That's $3,600 for any children under the age of 6. This is not a deduction. It is a tax credit, and there's no limit to the number of children that it provides for. Also, this stimulus checks would prohibit garnishments, any and all garnishments, collections, including child support. So you will not be receiving the stimulus check if your mate owes child support. If you owe child support, as long as you did file your taxes, you will be receiving your stimulus check this go around. Also, the increased stimulus check would be, well, the actual check would still be the $1,200. This is what's being proposed. The stimulus check will still be $1,200, Plus, instead of the $500, it would be $1,200 for each dependent, not child, each dependent. I think this is the most important aspect. So if you had a college age child or you have an adult that is dependent on you, you will receive $1,200 for each dependent, up to 3 dependents, and up to $6,000. So you will get $1,200 per dependent. Any age, any dependent that you filed on your taxes, you will receive $1,200 for each one. And this is going to be retroactive. So if you had a college age student and you received the last stimulus check, you only received the $1,200. Well, now you will receive that back pay for the $1,200 for a college age student or any dependent that you filed on your taxes. Okay, let's talk about some housing benefits. Housing benefits, emergency rental assistance. $100 billion has been allocated for anyone below the income median to help with rent as well as deposits for rent. Now, this is to prevent homelessness. There will also be a homeowners assistance fund. It can be used to reduce interest, reduce principal balance, as well as pay for property taxes and insurance. None of that money is a loan. It doesn't need to be paid back. There will also be a moratorium, which will provide up to 1 year that a landlord cannot file an eviction on a tenant, plus 30 days for the tenant to actually vacate the property once the landlord has filed an eviction. Now, if you can pay rent, because that does not mean you don't owe. It just means you cannot be evicted, but the landlord can still get a judgment for you not paying the rent if they so choose. There will be an expanded mortgage forbearance program up to 12 months. All mortgages, not just government mortgages, any bank, all mortgages. If you miss 2 payments on your mortgage, you automatically get a 60-day suspension of mortgage payments. And you get a automatic 60-day suspension of mortgage payments, which can be extended up to a full year. Now, a forbearance means payments have temporarily been suspended, just pushed out, not pushed out, temporarily been suspended. So check the terms with your bank, because you may owe the total amount at the end of that forbearance. It doesn't necessarily say we'll push it to the back of your loan. So please make sure you check the terms. Investment property owners, there will be loans provided for long-term relief since nobody is traveling and you don't have any renters to help with your mortgage payments or insurance or property tax, etc. Another great thing would be essential workers would be paid a $13 premium above the standard pay, not to exceed $10,000 for the year. So you would be paid $13 above your standard pay. Now, there's a lot of provisions on what would be included as an essential worker. I didn't go through every single detail, but if you would be considered an essential worker, you would be paid $13 premium. That's above your standard pay for up to $10,000 for the whole year. Also, there would be funding for child care for essential employees. So you will receive maybe some kind of stipend to help you pay for child care expenses as an essential worker. I think all of these are great. I don't think everything is going to be passed by the Senate, but in my opinion, for most certainly, there will be a second stimulus check. We can pretty much guarantee that. Now, all the other specifics will be negotiated between the House and the Senate and everybody involved. It's going over to the Senate. If they vote next week, and it is approved, we may look at getting checks maybe by the 1st of June. If not, it may be towards the end of June because they do take a small break for the Memorial Day holiday. And I'll try to keep you guys updated as I'm learning. I'm not a politician. I don't have a background in politics. However, I am paying very close attention to this act and see how I can be helpful to anyone that would like to learn more. Thank you as always for watching. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment below. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you think we should receive another stimulus check, or what else do you think should be included? Thank you guys.